Hi, I'm Annika. I'm here with Nancy Andruk Olson.
Hi.
She is our featured artist for the month of August. And we just hung her paintings and we're getting ready for the art show on Friday. It is on August 6th at 6 o'clock and we would love it if you could come. And the great thing about coming to this is that you can meet Nancy and you can ask her questions about her process or hear the stories behind her paintings. And it's just a really fun night out and we'll have some treats. So come to that. So Nancy, the paintings you have here are beautiful.
Oh, thank you
I
so
love
much.
them. And as we were hanging it, I got to hear some of the interesting stories behind these paintings. So I would love it if you could share some of those with us.
Sure, no problem. So this one I was able to salvage a frame from the Salt Lake Temple, which kind of was a coincidence. I got it from the BYU Art Department.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't hear about that
so
sale.
it wasn't a sale. They just said all the frames from the Salt Lake Temple are here. Come and get them.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
And there was hundreds of them,
Oh
and they're
my
all
gosh.
the same.
Really?
Like this, yeah.
The same liner and the same framing.
Very similar, yeah. And so I was invited to be in a show that was about Salt Lake City. And so I did this painting for that show because we have a unique wedding culture here in Salt Lake City, and that since the frame was from the Salt Lake Temple, I thought that really connected with the show. And this was a wedding someone's wedding in my neighborhood that I went to.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
I was
and
gonna
I
ask you.
painted it, yeah. So I just was kind of inspired in that moment to paint that.
I love
And to talk about that. And I did make some of the paint, and here's the yellow paint. I don't make 100% of my paint, but I do make certain colors that I want that are hard to find and that I want.
So this is oil.
This is oil on panel.
Okay, so you don't just make oil paints though?
I do. I
Oh,
also
okay.
make oil paints, however, I don't sell them. I do sell the watercolors, but I don't sell oil.
Okay, that's what I meant. I knew that you made watercolor paints,
Yes.
but you
So
make
this is oil
oils.
paint, and I also make oil paint, yes. But I don't make 100% of the oil paint. I make the colors that I need, that I can't find.
But when you do watercolors, you make 100% of that?
Mostly.
Oh, wow.
But I also fill in too with some Japanese paints that I buy.
Oh, okay. Well, I have artists who come to paint with me who very much do this impasto technique with really thick paint, and I
Yeah.
love that. I don't know if you can see that in the painting, but when you come into the art show, then you'll see that. But it's really thick strokes, which is just
Correct. Yeah.
gorgeous. I love that. And oh, I was just going to ask you another question about it. Oh, so what do you call your style? Like, it's got impressionism.
Yeah, definitely. I have that. I use those impressionist techniques. You know, I'm very interested in landscape painting. I view it as a stage, for human interaction, and so I try and incorporate sometimes figures in the landscape, and just observations about the landscape. It's meant to be more representational than it is realistic. It's more about the feeling and experience of being in nature and on the earth than it is about representing it exactly.
Yeah, and you get that feel with these, even that color. I can see why you needed that color, because I read somewhere, somebody said to figure out your style in art, you should figure out how you paint light.
Oh, well.
And I was like, that color really helps show the light coming
Yes.
through the trees. So
Exactly,
I can see why
yeah.
you would need that color in that. So your paintings, we were talking earlier about, are there other places that you have studied art or
Yes.
been to that influenced your art?
Yeah, so I have a BFA in painting from BYU, and then I went for 1 year to the School of the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. And that is actually where I started landscape painting in earnest, was in Boston. You wouldn't imagine that because it's a city area, but I had a teacher there who would take us to all these, like the Boston Harbor and all these places, and we would just do, and this cemetery where a lot of famous people
Really?
were, and we would do tons of paintings like in all weather and everything, and that's kind of where I started this obsession with the interaction of nature and with the dots and the strokes, and that's kind of where I started doing that. And then I had an opportunity to go to Monet's Garden with my mom, which is something she wanted to do, and I was able to paint there. And you can only paint there if you go with a tour group. So that was something my mom wanted to do, and I did it, and it turned out to be very influential because I kind of sat there and had a lot of interaction with the garden there, and so a lot of these paintings also have that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be really,
It
really
is.
cool.
It is amazing, actually, because you kind of sit there and you see and you understand why Monet was so obsessive about his garden and about painting and about capturing the light and all that, because it's a living, moving thing.
Right.
And when you're sitting there, you have the same experience.
I love that you said that, because the living, moving thing, because Monet was all about that. The
Yeah.
cathedral too, how it was changed every hour depending on the light that hit it. And I guess the garden would do that too, but I never really thought of that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Of how we
Every
do
day,
that.
yeah.
So there are just some beautiful, beautiful paintings in here. Nancy's also got prints, a few smaller paintings that she's going to be showing. It would be great to see you guys come out and see the show and meet Nancy and come to Flowerstone.
Yep, we'd love to have you.
It's going to be really fun.